What's going on? It's your dog Art Man Boxing, and we're back with another boxing conversation. Man, oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited because I don't know if you guys heard, but it sounds like the good boy or good brother Mungia is going to sign the contract to fight Charlo on June 18th. That's what the sources are saying. It's not confirmed yet, but respectable sources saying that is the next thing. So I'm looking forward to it. But seeing that Mungia is going to take this fight, it makes me think. It makes me wonder, what the hell was Canelo's problem? Why are you scared of the young bull, Charlo? Why the young homie Mungia got to step up and fight Charlo for you? Yeah, I'm going to say he's fighting Charlo for Canelo because Canelo Alvarez, he ain't step up. Not at all. And I don't care what fans say, oh, well, Bevo's are much tougher. Nah, fuck all that shit. Because there's one thing I know for sure. Charlo's not going to try to outbox Canelo. He's going to fight Canelo. He's going to try to take his head off. Bivol, on the other hand, is going to try to box Canelo. And most likely, he might do enough to win in our eyes. But we all know the judges. It's not going to roll for him. They're going to say Canelo Alvarez. Of course, that's how fucking high goes, man. Let's be real. Let's be fucking real. But the thing with Charlo, if he fought Canelo, a lot of people feel like he's not going to go in there and try to box him. He's going to go in there and try to slug it, knock him out, do whatever it takes, bring the fight to him like you're supposed to do. But yeah, Mungia, he signed his contract and fight. He earned my respect because I was looking at him like, yo, shit, you might have to leave 160 if you over here passing out in the weigh-ins. But he said it wasn't. He said he wasn't passing out or whatever. He just tried to say it was just hot or whatever. But shout out to the good brother Julius, man. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Art?
Shit, man, I'm feeling good, man. We might have a Juneteenth fight, a
Okay,
good Juneteenth fight.
okay. Hey, I'm not sounding funny right now, Emma.
No, you sound crystal clear.
All right,
What,
good, good.
what you didn't upgrade?
I try to go through Firefox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How you been, brother?
Shit, I'm doing good. Got my baby on the way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm staying healthy, smart, educated. I don't know if you've seen I done dropped the new shirts.
I
Uh,
saw him. I retweeted it.
yeah, so far the people love it.
Hi, brother.
My store loves it. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing good numbers. I love it. I love what I'm doing so far. Can't complain.
You doing good, man.
But yeah,
Doing
I'm
good.
excited for this fight, man. I'm
Me
ready.
too.
I'm ready to see some good boxing. And I'm ready to
Mhm,
see a good style matchup. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? I've been watching a lot of Chavez senior fights lately, man.
mhm.
One fight I was watching yesterday, matter of fact, was the Randall versus Chavez,
The first or the second?
the first one.
Okay.
So
Surgeon.
I'm
Frankie the
like, man,
surgeon.
this is some good fight. And then I was reading up on it. What's the name? Randall. He was saying like, man, a lot of these champions didn't want to fight me. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? He didn't have about 30 plus fights with no championship fights at all.
Yeah. And the thing that hurt Frankie Randall, to be honest, Art, was the drugs. First of all, rest in peace on Frankie. Um, Frankie Randall drug issue. And now, guys used to use drugs and stuff like that as a way to duck guys. Not steroids, not performance enhancement, but like
That white stuff.
recreational drugs. Yeah.
He was
So
on that. He was on that white stuff.
he was on the he was on the white stuff and the pipe.
Mm,
Um, you know,
mm.
but
That should have a hold on you.
the brother could fight. Yeah, he had a great right hand. You know what I'm saying? He was technically sound, which is the thing about a lot of boxers today. They're not technically sound. Even Chavez, a come forward fighter, was technically sound. Like he actually had good head movement. In that particular fight, this goes back to something we talk about all the time, though, man. It's difficult to fight against black fighters, man. Black American fighters are the most difficult style the urban style, whatever style you want to call it, man, it's the most difficult style in boxing to go against.
I know. And somebody tried to say, well, what about Tyson Fury versus Wilder? I said, how many times Fury got dropped in that fight?
Exactly. I mean, he got dropped what 4 times or 5 times in 3 fights. So that ain't no great defense. You know what I'm saying?
And it proves it's difficult. It's difficult to fight, even if when you're on the drugs.
Mm-hmm. Even when you're on the drugs, right?
But shout out to the brother D Hive.
D High, what's good, brother?
What's going on, y'all?
Chilling,
Shit.
man.
Feeling good, man.
I haven't even checked the fight schedule today. What the is it
We
Wood
got Michael
Conlon?
Conlon fighting Lee Woods, I believe his name.
Okay, and then what else? Is that it?
I think
And a
that's
whole
it.
bunch of British T fights.
Yeah. So you know what that is.
Yeah.
Oh
But
shit.
one of my what's
Mismatch.
so funny is one of the British dudes I'm cool with, he be buying shirts for me and stuff all the time. And he live in the UK. And he was like, dude, the judges go for this fight, it's gonna be he posted a meme of like the Sesame Street characters with like guns and or whatever, and he was like, yeah, the judges gonna be some thugs, basically. And I'm like, is Colin and what's his name? Daniel Kinahan's fighter? And he said, yep, sure is. But it's so interesting to me how these UK fans know exactly how corrupt, the guy is, DK. And they
Mm-hmm.
know that fishy shit goes down. But when it came to Tyson Fury versus Wilder, they act like that shit was not present at all.
Yeah,
Because
the
that's
energy is different when a
It's
white guy
different.
might get cheated.
yeah.
They figure, oh no, not Lee Wood. Lee Wood's a good old Brit. He beat
Right.
Zhu Can for a title or whatever, so we don't want him to get cheated. Now all of a sudden the antennas come up. It's like, nah, nigga.
Yeah, that shit was
Nah,
wild
nigga.
to me.
And no one's talking about that situation that I think all of us posted about. Speaking of DK and all that, about those words that Eddie Hearn had when Eddie Hearn said that we're taking the PBC model. He tried to be
Hmm.
nice and say Showtime
And
and Fox,
Fox.
but we know that's the PBC model, a pay-per-view to make money because he just admitted. But we got so many coons, man.
And the
Man, this
usual suspects had nothing to
oh my
say about it. They were like, "Oh, I guess
What
Eddie Hearn's right."
what Slim
yep.
say?
Mm-hmm. It's
What
crazy.
Slim what Slim say?
Slim didn't say Slim got into it with me this week, tried to get into it with me this week about I posted something about Mayweather and I think the Miguel Cotto about over marinating fights. And
Mm.
the terminology came from Bob Arum 20 years ago, 15 years ago, talking about let's let fights marinate. See, this guy, Slim, old as me or older than me, and don't even act like he don't know, or he probably don't know. And so he was coming up to say that I didn't, and that Mayweather didn't duck. I mean, that Cotto didn't duck Mayweather and this and that. When I had a personal conversation at a weigh-in in Miami with Bob Arum about why don't Cotto fight Mayweather at the time. Mayweather had just knocked out Arturo Gatti, and he said the same thing. Let's let the fight marinate.
Marinade.
He said that with Lopez and Gamboa. So this guy was going to try to get in there and talk to me about not just if Bob Arum said it, but if it was any truth to it and try to rehash the Mayweather Cotto. I said, bro, I'm not about to argue with you about something that happened 18 years ago,
Years
man.
ago. Right. Let's
Right,
let's
and
let's
and
move
and
forward.
and to top it
Like
all off, they already ended up fighting. What the fuck do it matter?
I
They
what
said,
my dudes
fought,
my
and
dude
Cotto got his ass
yeah,
beat.
they fought.
hold on,
I
let's let,
said,
let, let me read my dude chat real quick. He said, is
yeah,
Mungia and Charlo actually getting made? Man, that's what the sources are saying, man.
Mungia got a sign, but one thing I just wanted to point out is that's how you know that dude's a bum because all of his stories are circumstantial of him allegedly talking to someone. And keep in mind, the people he talks to are just familiars, affiliates. He's never talking to anybody official. But then he tries to
no,
discount your story. Number
Right.
two, that's a dumbass hill to die on because, like I just said, the niggas ended up fighting and Cotto got his ass whooped. What we talking about it for?
Exactly. And like I said, their book has been written, bro. That was 18 years ago. Those guys are gone. In terminology, their career is gone and stinking. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
We
It's
talking
over
about
with
the
already.
now we talking about the guy that retired him that got beat up.
Yeah,
Right.
and regarding this situation, so I just want to point out
Mhm.
everyone that's currently excited about this fight getting made, where the fuck were y'all while Mungia was at 160 accomplishing absolutely nothing, ducking every single title opportunity? Now y'all want to pretend like y'all weren't encouraging him to duck all these years. Man, fuck out of here. Ain't no
Hmm.
Montiel gonna change anything. Mungia looked like shit against a weight drain Rosado with 13 losses. And I strongly doubt he's going to be the one to take out Charlo outside of potentially a lucky punch. But based on what we've
And
seen against Rosado, it's clear he don't hit hard enough. It's
and
clear.
and also too, man, motivation got a lot to do with this game. Like people discount motivation. It's easier to get up to fight Mugia, who's crossing over to Showtime to try to take your championship in a big fight than getting ready to fight Montiel again, or if you had to fight Dennis Hogan, and people discredit that. How and this is cross. This is why I say sometimes when people say, "Well, he struggled with Montiel," no, but he knocked Dennis Hogan head off, and Dennis Hogan beat up McGee. So you never know how these fights are gonna go, man. You know
That
what I'm saying?
that's why people need to stop listening to triangle theories and people
Triangle
who
theory
and
don't
people
work,
who
man.
aren't even old enough to vote. That's stupid shit. But
Absolute. Oh
but
my
but
God.
but
Hey, somebody
also
said that that person was the number one pound for pound person on Twitter. I just laugh at a lot of that stuff, man,
that
because
concept that concept is stupid. Pound for pound, Twitter
yeah,
people like you sound like
that
an
don't
idiot
even
if
make
you're.
sense.
Yeah, that's dumb. But let me address
And,
Jason
and,
right quick.
and
He says
you saw that I had got into it with the fella. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
A
I
week and
see
a
that,
half
but
ago.
that we not even worried about that.
Yeah,
but,
so things happen
but let
The
me
only
online.
thing
address
is that if
yeah.
Charlo struggle with this tomato, it's over for him.
Let me address that.
I wouldn't call Mungia a tomato because he's a top
I don't
contender.
win either.
I wouldn't
But
call him
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't call him a tomato.
but let
he
me
can
let me
fight.
let me
He a
address
top
that.
contender.
He's
He the
not a
number one contender at that.
he's not a tomato can, but the thing is, there's a critical difference when the person that's fighting actually has a legitimate chance to win. So it's different when you're going into a match with someone like Canelo or Tyson Fury because you know pretty much everything is against you, and unless you knock this person clean unconscious, and sometimes even then, you're not gonna win the fight. People like Montiel, people like Mungia can actually perform well and fight hard against Charlo because they know they're not going to be fucking cheated. They know that if they legitimately win the fight, 9 times out of 10, they're going to get the belt. Whereas if you're fighting Canelo,
Absolutely.
or Triple G or Tyson Fury or Eubank Jr., you could easily get cheated. You could easily
Yeah,
get
Charlo
stopped.
got to
So
watch out too. This is a WBC fight and a born and raised Mexican fighting Charlo.
exactly.
Mhm.
So you actually put in work. Like that's why Montiel probably put in work like that because for him it's a legitimate life changing title shot. He knows that he can actually win. Whereas when
People didn't even
people
see there was like a little all access for that Montiel versus I don't know if it was all access, but it was something like that for the Montiel Charlo fight where they're looking at Montiel and the motherfucker was in the house with his people them. They was training. They wanted that WC belt.
Well,
They
yeah,
well,
wanted
here's
that
the
motherfucking
thing.
belt.
because they knew they could
People
actually
don't
win.
know this, but Montiel's not just Montiel dad was a boxer. Montiel uncle was a championship fighter. Lost his belt to Mark Too Sharp Johnson, and he got knocked out by Nonito Donaire. So this guy got a pedigree, man. Like you can't discredit a guy that turned pro at 16, 17, not getting better as a pro. Like when Mugia fought him, he's a better fighter than he was then. Like a lot of, like I say, man, boxing is the
It,
only sport where people don't think guys can get better.
and it's so
Well,
fucked
they
up.
only think
It's
certain people
because
can get better.
my bad. It's so fucked up because the people that's doing a lot of hating is Montiel's own people.
Right? Yeah,
The fuck? I'm like, dude, what
they
you
hate the
guys talk
most.
about? And to be honest, y'all fucking pray, y'all love for Canelo, and hatred for fucking anybody that you think, because they know indirectly they're saying that they think that Charlo can beat what's his name, Canelo.
Right.
They,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying, they trashed the guy instead of appreciating the good fight that we've seen. Charlo versus Montiel was not a bad fight.
But you know what?
Don't you guys like when people get punched
Yeah.
and punched on
But
But
in all
here's
action
speaking of,
war?
speaking of, do
last
y'all
year,
know
right?
Montiel's
Okay.
fight right before Charlo? Do you remember who he was? Speaking of Canelo,
Who you fight?
James Kirkland won it.
James Kirkland,
Kirkland.
Yeah.
Oh
and he
yeah,
Yeah.
smoked him in one
He
round.
smoked
smoked him.
Kirkland. Yeah.
Everybody was riding Montiel. Oh shit,
Yeah.
Montiel came back. He looks so much better at middleweight. Da da
Because
da da da. But as soon as
looked
he's
like he
fighting
knocked
Charlo,
Kirkland
he's
head off in
trash
that fight.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Y'all know the lady in the ring with Christine. So I had a conversation with her last night, and she said to me, she said, Mexico don't love Canelo. And the love that Canelo get is the love from these Mexicans here. And
I've been
I
saying that.
believe it because here's the thing. Canelo do everything American. He lives in San Diego. He trains in America. He has his friends, those athletes, Steph Curry,
Nas.
Nas,
Nas.
all these different guys are Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? Here in the States, the guy don't have nothing from Mexico except he was born there. So that's what I'm saying. Like
I've been
these
saying that
guys,
for years.
yeah,
So how the fuck he
it's
get
true.
Mexican meat up in the crib?
Oh, he still trans down there sometimes.
Man, he trained down there and
Yeah,
them boys gonna
right.
pull up in them SUVs.
Absolutely, they're kidnapping. But
You know what I'm
here's the
saying?
thing:
The fuck you talking about? They
he,
know what's up.
he ain't lived in Mexico since
Boy.
a man Solis took his girl, man.
Yeah, because
And
his
he
last
dumped the
fight,
Mexican channel. He dumped the Mexican channel over that little, because they reported
Right.
on him like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were sparring and shit happens.
but we've even established that the reason why Canelo Alvarez is so popular is because he looks white.
Yep, and I've
Oh,
heard it with my
absolutely.
own ears.
Yeah.
I wish I knew which. It was some buildup when they said that Canelo's complexion was once perceived as a weakness, but here it is marketing, gold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a gold mine here. But in Mexico, it's a weakness. He look like a
yeah.
white man.
That's why Benavidez. That's why Benavidez don't get no respect. That's why Ray Vargas don't get no respect. That's why Julio Cesar Martinez wasn't getting any respect. All these dudes actually look Mexican, whereas this motherfucker looks like a white guy.
Yeah,
Right.
He's providing a better life for his family. That's true. You can do all of that, but you can also still live in Mexico. What only thing that bothers me is when you're waving flags of countries you have no stake in. Like, for example, according to my ancestry, I'm like 98, 99% Nigerian. Do you ever see me claim Nigeria or wave a Nigerian flag? Fuck no, because I've never been there and I wasn't born there, and I was born in the United States. So that's why, like Triple G is over there waving around Kazakh flags. That nigga live in Camarillo, California.
and if they
Retarded.
was to go to war right now, you think they'll go back?
Hell no.
Only one's gonna do that is, like I say, man, the Klitschko brothers. You know, are the only ones.
Lomachenko.
And keep in
You know
mind,
what I'm
we don't
saying?
even know. We don't even know if they're putting in work. They
We
pose
don't
with some
know.
guns.
Well,
But hold on,
Kelly put his
I'm
stuff out
trying to
there
have
like he was putting in
Jalik,
work.
Jalik and what's his name? Crowd. I'm not trying to have a full pack show today. Just trying to do three. You know, what I'm saying, just three of us on here. But he said I was gonna read your question though. You said something about you said Art Man, if Charlo fight Mungia and Charlo wins or a controversy draw to create a rivalry. You
Oh
know
my
what?
god! If he gets
If
a
I
fucking
was Al
draw against
Heyman,
Mungia, Jesus.
if I was Al Heyman and them, dude, somebody has my echo on. I keep on hearing myself in the background. I think that's usually it. Okay. So yeah, if I was Al Heyman and them, right, what I would do is try to recreate these fights, these Randalls and Chavez, Whitaker, Chavez type of fights, Oscar De La Hoya Chavez fights. You know why? because looking at these crowds, obviously the money is there because it's not just Mexican people. It's a mixture. I'm seeing Magic Johnson and Sugar Ray in the fucking crowd. You know what I'm saying? Recreate that right now in 2022. But have it on Juneteenth. Throw some new shit up in there. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Bob Arum always says, "Oh, I can build up the Mexican fighter because the Mexican." You want to know what's missing from the Mexican game plan that y'all have? Mixing up who they're fighting. You can't say this guy's a Mexican great fighting Europeans. You see these big ass fights with the crowds at, nigga, they were fighting other Mexicans or black folks.
Well, that's the hard part because now fans have gotten to the point where they're going to discredit every Mexican fighter that goes up against a prominent black fighter. And not to mention, because they want to push the narratives that black fighters aren't draws and Mexicans run boxing, they're only going to vocally and financially support Mexican on Mexican, Mexican on white, anything involving black. They're instantly going to try to diminish the value to the public as what's been seen. So,
But I tell you
traditionally,
what, though, D Hive, this fight right here with Charlo and Mungia can break that.
I
Like
hope
the
it does
like
because
like
it's a
the
good
guy
fight.
Jalik says, man, if it end up being a draw or a controversial win or a win by knockout or just a close fight in general, people gonna love that shit.
If
Because let's keep
Charlo
it real,
get a
people
draw.
really like that Charlo Montiel fight, but Montiel was not the name that they wanted to praise. So imagine Charlo having a fight like that, but a better performance, but a fight like that with Mungia, but wins by stoppage or whatever. People gonna love
I
that
think
shit. It's
that
gonna be a nice
fight also
historic fight.
in Texas. I think that fight should be in Texas. Charlo has careful, even if the fight is in his hometown, and he's gonna have to dominate to win. But I would that fight. If I agree with everything you said, that fight, the more black against Mexican fighters, the ban both, and bring both of the guys out.
It just
Even
it
when you
just
talk about Spence and Garcia, now we thought Spence was going to smoke Michael Garcia, but because of Garcia's record at the time, and because of his fans came out, Earl Spence fans came out, and look, we had what 50, 60,000 in Dallas, so it can happen, man. Few more fights like that. Need it.
it just sucks because every time we try to make the matchup, the first thing that the Mexican fans come out and do is they come out and shit on it. They say, "Oh, it's not good," and then what's worse is that they say that the Mexican fighter is not good. They say, "Oh, Montiel ain't shit. Munguia is too young. He's not ready. He's accomplished nothing. Anyone who tank fights is instantly trash." So it's just terrible.
And that's why I posted on Twitter. That's why I posted on Twitter and I said, hold on, man. By what y'all said on Twitter and after the Montiel Charlo fight, everybody should be on Team Mungia right now. Matter of fact, everybody should be putting money on Mungia right now. Right?
Exactly.
But you know what they're doing? They're like, I don't know, man. Ain't no I don't know, man. Be Team Mungia because you said Charlo struggled. This should be a very interesting fight for y'all. Y'all about to have a new Mexican champion, right? But nah, they don't want to say that.
Knocking out a
They don't want
black
to say
guy,
no shit
right?
like that. They don't support their guys until they win. Like Ruiz versus Joshua, they were saying Ruiz was fucking trash. Joshua's fighting another tomato can. And then
Yeah.
he win this La Viva La Raza. Get the fuck out of here, man.
It's the same with Valdez. You notice how quiet they are on Valdez? They're not saying anything until after the fight. So if he loses, they can say, "Oh, we had no faith anyway."
Yeah.
And if he
Yeah.
wins, they can say, "Oh, see, we told you."
Mexicans run boxing, man.
Yeah, and then and
Yeah,
then
get the
watch
fuck
and then
out of
watch the
here,
sport become
man.
black again.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
have no confidence in Oscar Valdez. None.
None.
Zero. They are not hyping him up
None.
at all. They
Oh.
expect him to get washed.
Valdez win this off. It's Viva la Mexico. I'm telling
Oh,
you.
it's gonna be
Look,
crazy.
I even heard Mexican race soldiers go so far as the last night start mocking Valdez about his tea, the tea he was drinking, the herbal tea. So
Mhm.
these guys go all out to throw their own under the bus, and then to go all out to sabotage black folks, all in the same.
It's I
It,
could not live
a lot of
life.
them start to become more Americanized. So you know what they're picking up too? Cooning.
Uh, I
You know what
could
I'm
not
saying?
live life.
They got their own cooning in their situation too.
I
Let's keep
cannot
it
live
100.
life as a flip flopping bitch. Like I don't understand why these guys they change up every week, every month. I'm like, pick some shit and stick to it. Like it doesn't matter. And West Coast boxing, the fans can't force fights. That's where you're wrong because the fans decide what they're gonna pay for. And if the fans show that they're not willing to come out and support a fight, that's not to say it may or may not get made, but that has a large influence on matchmaking. If you knew anything about boxing, you'd know that. But I'm assuming you're a West Coast, either a Californian or an Arizonan, of Hispanic American ethnicity that's residing safely on the West Coast.
Talk about
So
LDBC killer.
yeah,
Who you kill?
these
Fuck
these
out of here. You
this
see these
again,
niggas be
this is
talking crazy.
Yeah, this is why Canelo doesn't like to associate with y'all openly. He just says "motherfucker," knows you'll jizz on yourself, and then he keeps it pushing. He doesn't talk to
Oh my
y'all.
God, Canelo was speaking English, man.
He said an
Oh my Lord,
American
dude.
curse word. Ugh.
The
Like,
fuck out of
get
here.
the fuck out of here, bro.
The fuck out of
That,
here.
that's how easy y'all are to impress. That's what he thinks of you. That's what he thinks of you. He knows that
That's
y'all
why
are nothing.
if he look, they're able to buy the franchise. Look, think about it. Really think about it. That franchise situation, man, if any other boxer was put in that situation, bro, they would be getting fucking clowned forever. The fans,
Never
man, I
call a
talk to
cow.
all of them. They act like it don't even exist, like that never even happened. I'd be like, bro, how can you even go further with the conversation knowing that Canelo Alvarez accepted a imaginary belt that's never been held in boxing ever, right around the time Charlo became his mandatory.
But it was never mandated,
It,
remember?
he was never meant. So you're telling me the same people who made this fake ass belt didn't mandate him? Oh wow, surprising. The fuck? Let's be real. Number one contender, Mauricio. I remember it. He beat Hugo Centennial, I think, on the Broner card. KO'd him first round. I said, "Oh shit, he is
Yeah,
fighting Canelo
Good
Alvarez."
combination.
third round stoppage. You
It's the
fucked
third
him up.
round. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, man, I can't wait to see Canelo versus Charlo." Little, I did not know that this was going to happen. I didn't know that we were going to be put in a situation where the whole championship opportunity just disappears within thin air.
Canelo said at 160, shit, nigga, I'm gone. Fuck that. Not at 160. I only got enough energy for Triple G, and that's it.
Chavez would have fought Charlo.
Oh,
Both
for sure.
brothers. Both
Marquez,
of them.
Marquez, Marquez would have fought Charlo. Marquez didn't give a fuck.
Eric Morales would have fought him. Both of them.
Yeah, Barrera would have fought him too.
Hmm? Exactly.
Oh, you playing that
It's
Call of Duty?
funny how this Mexican play politics, but those Mexicans didn't. Like, look at that record, man. Look at how many black fighters they fought at higher weight classes. Because both of those guys started fighting at 122 and they went all the way to 140. Eric Morales went all the way to 140, fought Danny Garcia at 140.
Well,
Maybe
that's
he was
because
at, but the bottom line is he fought him at 140. He fought black guys. When he lost to Zahir Rahim, he lost to an Olympian, the equivalent of your man Terrell Gasha, that was an Olympian and nobody knew him. Eric Morales, let me get him. And the guy beat Eric Morales. That's how much heart that those Mexicans had. Julio Cesar Chavez fought Frankie Randall when nobody else would. He would no fear in him, no fear of losing, and he had 90 wins before he had a loss.
Well, that's because back in those days, the fans didn't just say, "Oh, well, you can do whatever you want because you make the rules." No, you actually had to fight appealing fights, fights that people view were 50-50, and fights people that people wanted to see. But now that's why I keep saying a lot of the new age Canelo Alvarez fans are Hispanic Americans that are kids. their children. They're like, oh no, he can fight whoever he wants. He can do whatever he wants because he the man. Oh, like that's the mentality now. The mentality is that if you and it's not even you're fighting the best competition. It's if you happen to be the most popular, you can do whatever and do no wrong. However, if you apply that logic to a black fighter, oh, he needs to be fighting everyone. Spence needs to be fighting Crawford, Boots, and everybody. Charlo needs to be fighting Benavidez, Andrade, and everybody. Fucking Wilder got to fight AJ Fury and everybody, but Canelo, oh, he can fight McAbooty because he does what he wants. The TP for P. Like that's what they fucking sound like, and that's why I often have to differentiate between like that's often why I talk about their parents because their parents were the exact antithesis of this. They were saying that Mayweather needs to fight every single person. He needs to fight Marquez, Corrales, Barrera, oh, he needs to fight all these fucking people. And I'm like, your parents had different energy, but y'all are like, oh, Canelo's on top, so he can do whatever. And I'm like, you guys sound like bitches. That's not fun. Watching your favorite fighter just wash people is boring. I mean, shit, at least it's boring to me. I mean, I'm like I said, all my fighters that I like, I want them in dangerous situations. I want Demahaney in dangerous situations. I want Wilder. I want Boots in dangerous situations. I don't want them just washing people. Like, that's why when people say that Boots is ducking Blair the Flair, I'm like, no, it's going to be a massacre. That's why I don't even want to look at this shit. It's not even going to be fun.
Quick question, y'all. What illness did they make Keyshawn Davis drop out of that fight? I'm wondering.
Oh, shit. He said that he had a virus that wasn't corona.
Right.
Shit. I don't know.
Because hopefully it wasn't, HIV.
No. You know how long the symptoms would take? No. No. Like this, like with the symptoms, I don't even know like how they would even think to test for that.
Because here's the thing, man. I mean, hepatitis, it's a lot of different ones, but it's not that many that will make them pull you from a fight.
I figure it's just like a stomach bug, like maybe food poisoning or some shit.
Okay.
Hope that's what it is. That's what I assume. But I mean, whoever his opponent was just got saved, so hopefully they can fight somebody.
He got saved from a good butt whooping.
Yeah, they would have got washed.
And you make a great point, man, when you start talking about how the Mexicans old wanted, Mayweather and Shane Mosley and all them guys to fight all killers. But now we don't get that same energy with Canelo. But here's the crazy part. Canelo against Boo Boo. I feel that Canelo screwed himself by not wanting a challenge out of a career-defining win. I actually think he would have been behind on the scorecards and stopped Boo Boo. Now, look. Now, we always are accused of being a homer for our black folks. And here I am, a black man, saying I felt Canelo would clip Boo Boo in a fight that he's behind in. Because I technically seen some things where I think Canelo can do against Boo Boo to stop him.
Probably, but I want to see it.
But here's the thing. This guy don't even want to go into the fight to see. And it ain't like he undefeated. He's already lost. So I'm like, what are you so afraid of to get in the ring? You're going to get paid real well. And, it's just going to be a competitive fight. These guys don't want competitive fights, man.
You want to know why, Julius? You want to know why? Because it feels good being the pride of Mexico. I only took one loss, and that's to the guy that everybody says is the best. So, hey, technically it don't count, right? I get to have all the money in the world, all the bitches. The networks love me. Everybody love me. Why would I jeopardize that and put this black nigga in position to beat me?
And that's what's also bad about his fans, because before Canelo fights anyone, they take a shit on whoever he fights. I'm like, that's not smart. That's just like what they do with Tyson Fury. Every time he's getting ready to fight, you say the opponent's trash, dude. That makes your favorite fighter look like garbage.
Yeah, make him look like he only fights.
Yeah, like at least Bud fans, I'll give Bud fans this. At least Bud fans hype up whoever he's getting ready to fight. Like when he's getting ready to fight fucking Amir Khan and Kell Brook, they were like, oh, prime Amir
Brian
Khan.
Brook about to come back.
Yeah, all
Hey,
that bullshit. So at least they have the intelligence to fucking.
What you say? What you say, Slim? Kill that killer from Omaha.
Oh my fucking god. The guy who everyone is avoiding, but he still manages to get fucking fights somehow. Make it make sense.
Man, what's up with Keyshawn Davis though?
Keyshawn Davis announced on Instagram yesterday that he had a virus that was not corona. I'm assuming it's either a stomach-related bug, but also Spo J could be right. He could have been fucking these hoes and maybe got some, but hopefully it's something that can be solved.
Man, but you know when it comes to Top Rank, man, you just never know.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to sacrifice whoever that was to Keyshawn just yet. So they're like, okay, Keyshawn, say something, pick something where it makes sense you out.
Or maybe they want to slow him down. They ain't got to pay him now.
Or they might put him on an undercard of somebody else.
Right.
Might put him on the Shakur Stevenson undercard.
But I would tell them, but here's the thing though. If you're gonna put me on undercard, don't be putting out there I got viruses. We could do a different, you know what I'm saying? A different angle. We could say, oh yeah, injury.
Man, that's us. You talk about people who fucking put your graffiti every time Shakur fight.
Right.
That was some shit that Keyshawn put out there. Now you know for a fact that if he's coming from Buzz Camp, he doesn't have the best PR sense. So that's just, exactly what he put out there.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he's fighting on, the card that's coming up.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Because that does look pretty good. Hey, I'm about to run it. If I was Bob Arum, I'd have charged pay-per-view for this fight.
Shit,
stack the undercard.
If I'm Bob Arum, anybody who between 135 or 130 and 140 who disrespect me, I'll be like, you talk some more shit, you gotta go see Keyshawn. You keep talking that shit, you're going to see Keyshawn.
One thing I don't like, I like Shakur saying that him and John are too to fight. I don't like that.
Yeah, he said they're gonna need like 150 million to get them to fight.
Like
I'm like, oh, so y'all ain't fighting
each other?
Yeah, he said they need 150 million to make that shit happen.
Listen, man. Maurice Blocker and Simon Brown was two guys that grew up in Washington, D.C. that used to go to each other's house and spend the night at 4 and 5 years old. Got into boxing together, went into the boxing gym the same day together and motivated each other, spending nights with one another. Mothers was, father was friends. They got in the ring and almost killed each other, man, 2 times. So I don't want to hear that, we too cool to get in the ring with each other. I don't want to hear that.
See, I've never heard of these guys. How much was the check for?
Well, it wasn't for no 100 million.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's my thing though. When we're in a situation like this, where these guys want to play team sport, why can't we play team sport? But that'll be the wrong thing. That'll be the wrong thing of us.
Right. They can play it. And look, let me say this about Simon Brown. Simon Brown's in the Hall of Fame. Okay. Mm-hmm. He was working at welterweight, junior middleweight. A short, dark-skinned guy that boxed, but he was aggressive, left hook, come forward. Maurice Blocker was a real tall. They called him the Thin Man. He was a welterweight champion. And matter of fact, his last fight as a pro, Felix Trinidad took the belt from him at 12. And they both was from Washington. But I'm just saying, man. Actually, Simon Brown, I think, was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and moved to D.C. at the age of 1 or 2. But I'm just saying, man, them guys loved each other. So they loved each other what Keyshawn and Shakur love each other. You know what I'm saying? But and they went in the ring and killed each other almost, man.
Man,
People forget.
Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis are very good fighters, man. At a
Gotta
very
get in,
young
gotta get in the
age.
ring with each other.
But
Like,
I
They
don't think
all fight each other
I don't
eventually.
think
Man, D Hive.
I don't think either one has enough packs enough punch to almost kill each other, and they're both really defensively
skill.
responsible.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it'll
But
probably be just
Keyshawn is
a
real
long, boring
aggressive.
chess match.
Well,
you're right.
Keyshawn is aggressive. If I'm gonna take the lead, it's gonna be Keyshawn
And he's
because
also
Keyshawn
bigger.
is aggressive.
Yeah, and he's also bigger. He's taller.
And
He's
he's
longer.
bigger too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has the advantages. Yeah.
Yeah, but look, these guys gotta fight each other. Keyshawn, Core, Devin, Davis, because they can make real super fights. Like the super fights that they'll have against Mexican opponents is more for the fans. But this would be like, Kobe Bryant going against LeBron James. I think LeBron would have advantages. Still, it's
Do you
one of
think
those.
we'll ever get a situation where it's like Bud Crawford versus Devin Haney or some shit?
No, no,
Ever?
no.
Yeah,
Or like
it may
Errol
be-
Spence versus motherfucking whoever.
He's
Like
strong.
a young fighter trying to fight the older
Yeah.
fighter.
Well,
because
I can see the Spence situation, but Bud is all over the place. Not to mention, I don't think that anyone, like, knowing what it's like business wise, I don't think anyone would even try
Hey,
to
a lot of people
waste
are
time
upset
making
with
that fucking fight.
Shakur Stevenson's comments about Canelo Alvarez, saying like he feel like he's better than
we
him.
were in the same weight class. I
Yeah,
beat him.
yeah,
Beat his ass, of course.
and that's
The
facts.
fuck?
He
What
And,
would.
they, and his fans know that shit, man.
Right.
Shakur Stevenson yeah, he's a far better boxer than anyone that Canelo has ever faced outside of Mayweather. Yeah, if they were in the same weight
Look,
class, he'd beat his ass.
I
That
always
jab to the body, Jesus Christ.
You remember what I posted on Twitter? I said, so you guys are telling me after Mayweather, the best fighter stylistically in boxing is Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, that's cap. We don't believe that.
That's super fucking cap, dude. Canelo
Yep.
practiced the same routine in every motherfucking camp I see him in. It's the same shit. And he
Yeah.
gets these dudes all the time because he knows who he's fighting. These
But
matchmakers know what the fuck they're doing.
you know why it's the same thing? He been with the same trainer since he was 10 years old.
It's
So
the
he's gonna
same
have
routine.
the same mannerisms. And people say, well, he changed a lot after Mayweather beat him. He did this, he did that. No, he might have just adjustment or two, but if you get him in a fight, he's gonna be the exact same guy. That's why I say the fighters that do best against Canelo is fighters that got common or aggressive.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like the way Canelo used to fight.
Yeah,
When he fought
yeah,
Josecito Lopez.
yeah, but
Well, it was Josecito Lopez.
Yeah, I know. But he was throwing every combination in the book on that nigga.
And look, that's why against Plant, he did the same thing because he knew Plant can't hurt me.
I feel like he beat Plant like, I would say easy, but I would say like he didn't have to really do too much to beat him because Plant basically just gassed out and then couldn't take that left hook after that shit. It was just over with. And Canelo wasn't throwing like 1,000 punches. He just had perfect selection and power.
And clearly
Saul,
his
I'm doing okay, Emma. I'm doing great for a fighter that's 17-0, huh?
Yeah, like what the fuck type of shit is that, nigga?
And clearly his punch activity didn't matter based on those cards. He was gonna win the decision regardless. He could have thrown one punch the entire fight and got that motherfucker.
Yep.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's why his punch output. That's why his punch output is so low because it doesn't matter.
Somebody tried to tell me. Somebody was like, "Well, Canelo will beat Charlo because look at Charlo versus Montiel." I said, "Dude, who in the world is throwing 1,000 punches at Canelo Alvarez? Oh, they're not throwing it because they're scared of getting countered. Get the fuck out of here."
Wrong. Most fighters go into the ring knowing they're gonna get hit in the face. You know what I'm saying? So come on, man.
Man, this Randall versus Chavez fight is a good fucking fight. I'll tell you that, man.
Which fight?
The first one, I didn't see the second one. Who
Which
won the
fight? You
second
talking
one?
about Chavez and Randall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, man. I mean,
And Errol Spence watching this shit before he fight Ugas. Oh yeah,
hey,
getting that mindset.
I mean, look, man, the fight against Errol Spence with Ugas, like I say, Earl, all he has to do is just stay basic in that fight, stand behind the jab, turn Ugas. I don't think Ugas got nothing to hurt him with. You got to be able to hurt Errol Spence.
They were showing Manny Pacquiao versus Ugas on Twitter how Ugas was countering Manny Pacquiao's southpaw jab.
But
Manny Pacquiao doesn't keep his hands up. So it's a different set of circumstances. Manny Pacquiao is a volume puncher who runs at you and frequently doesn't keep his hands up. He's known to neglect his defense, which is why he's been knocked out multiple fucking times by people whose names we still don't know.
Still don't even know.
Yeah, the people
Manny
keep
Pacquiao probably got knocked out by niggas who's fucking in his home country, lady boys and shit. You never know.
He probably got smoked by some people that are fucking dead right now. But the point
That's what I'm saying. They got a whole new life.
Yeah, but the point is that they're comparing Manny Pacquiao to Errol Spence, which sounds nice, but Errol Spence is superior. And I think they all knew that, which is why the Pacquiao fight was supposed to be, a sacrificial passing of the torch, but Errol Spence, And I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh shit, all Ugas got to do is land a jab or a straight right on the eye, and it's gonna fall out. And it's like, no, it's the year 2022. Medical technology is rather, yeah.
One guy is 5'4.5", a 5'4.5", 43-year-old fighter. Then that should have been stopped right there. Manny Pacquiao, 43 years old and 5'4.5". But guess what though? If this was 10 years ago, Manny Pacquiao would have stopped Ugas. Look like while they were showing all that countering, showed the face of Ugas when the fight was over. He looked like somebody got hit with an airbag.
He did, and then alopecia didn't make it look any better.
Yeah, they're thinking, oh, one straight right or one jab to the eye and it's gonna fall out. And it's like, no, medical technology has gotten pretty good, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna take a little more than that to make fucking Errol Spence's eye pop out. Like
that's when it was
like,
Wilder versus.
I sort of like
if his face was broken, how did the hell did he get it fixed? What the fuck is wrong with you guys, nigga?
It's like these are millionaires. They can afford
these guys act like you know what I'm saying? I mean, look, if Earl came back from that accident, I believe that this torn weapon in that car. You know what I'm saying? I said it and people act like I'm crazy. Oh no, his sparring partner did it. No. Errol Spence got really injured in that accident, man. Like to the point that PBC did a good job of lessening, saying, "Oh, he didn't have no broken bones." But I also heard him say the accident had happened 3 weeks prior, and he didn't know because all of a sudden one day he was sitting at home, sandwich, sitting in his chair, and then all of a sudden it hit him, and he was like, "Yo, am I?" He started asking what happened. That was 3 weeks later.
And also,
this accident wasn't bad. That was 3 weeks after the accident happened, after he got out in the hospital. He didn't realize what was really going on. He was going through the motion.
Because even when you have certain type of surgeries or whatever, man, and that type of trauma, they put you in some type of medication, man, that'll have you fucking out of there. Trust me.
And also, one of the things that he said during the first face-off is that he does know. What he said was he does no medical mandated rehab. He does all his rehab at home. He didn't do physical therapy. He didn't go through the doctors for any post-operational treatment. He gets his surgeries and goes home. He did all that, and keep in mind, this is not just the accident. This is even the retinal tear.
Right.
He didn't do any. He didn't do any medically mandated post-op. He gets his surgeries and he goes the fuck home and just starts training. So people got to keep that in mind. Not everybody does that.
And also too, when people start talking about can guys recover from this, this is something I said to your boy Slim before. He broke his neck in a fight, not in a fight, broke his neck in a car accident. Came back and won the world title twice. Then he Pacienza broke his neck. You know, I think their injuries were a little more serious than Errol Spence, even though Errol Spence had some serious injuries. Those guys not only did Joppy break his neck, he also tore his eye up. Now I'm not for sure the exact eye injury, but it was an eye injury that required eye surgery. And he came back from a broken neck and was playing in 12 months.
And also, I keep trying to tell these people that if you keep talking shit, saying that Errol Spence is a drunk who's unfocused and partying and da-da-da-da, I'm like, if he comes back and manages to collect 3 belts in one of the most challenging divisions in boxing history, all you're doing is making him seem like an all-star and making everyone else in the division seem like a bitch. You really telling me that you're really telling me that Bud Crawford has been extremely focused his entire career and his best win is still fucking Postal? That makes the entire division fucking embarrassing. That Errol
as
Spence
much
can
as
be
I
drunk
love
and have one eye and do all of this.
and as much as I love Bud Crawford got shot. You know what I'm saying? Now we holding it against people when things happen outside of the ring. The man got shot. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get shot because he was an innocent bystander. No, it was people gunning for him. So every fighter has went through a time in their life where they were unfocused or undisciplined. You know what I'm saying? You got to just get back on pace. And also, like you say, Errol Spence is an all-star. He took that traumatic injury, came back and beat Danny Garcia, a guy that's going to the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? He beat him with no problem. And if he do the same, that he came off of 2 traumatic injuries, came back and smoked guys. And other guys, like you say, ain't went on no kind of, been in no accident, haven't been into no, injuries or nothing, and they ain't fighting top guys. So, got to give this due.
I don't like this Errol Spence is scared of Bud narrative. Like, nigga,
It doesn't make sense.
About Blair.
Bro, Errol's from Texas, bro. I'm sorry, nigga. In Texas, not to brag or anything like that. You ain't scaring a lot of niggas down there, bro.
But Bud
Definitely
himself
not.
said Spence wasn't scared. So why are they listening to Blair the fucking Flair, who's accomplished nothing?
Fuck?
Blair the Flair is the same age as Errol Spence Jr. in the same weight division and has accomplished jack shit. Why the fuck is this nigga famous today? This nigga's career highlight is sparring Devin Haney and looking real regular. Devin Haney is a fucking lightweight, and you're a welterweight over here sparring goddamn lightweights, and he's making you look like a bitch. Like, just get out of here, bro. And it's funny because then when I posted that thing about what Blair the Flair had to say about Canelo, it was hush mode. All of a sudden, Blair wasn't a reliable source of information. I'm like, why are y'all dick riding this dude? This dude has accomplished nothing. Yeah,
hey,
like,
look, man, it's like I said to a guy, Goodfella Sports, that kept throwing that narrative out there. I said, hey, bro, I said, Errol Spence is a lot of things, but why would he be afraid to go in the ring, probably in a fight in Dallas or Las Vegas, and make $10 or $15 million with 3 titles on the line?
yeah,
I'm just wondering, what would make him do that?
4 titles.
A fight for 4 titles. Just wondering.
That's undisputed. And keep in mind, the shit not gonna be in no fucking Omaha. Ain't no justification for no lame ass Omaha undisputed fight. The most famous thing in Omaha, Nebraska is fucking Warren Buffett. So fuck that shit.
And that's what it's Warren Buffett gonna be there. That's why. And he rich. He got more money than everybody in Dallas.
Yeah, Warren Buffett gonna buy 1 ticket. He gonna buy 1 ticket. It's gonna be an expensive ticket, but that's gonna be 1 ticket buying nigga. You need to go somewhere else. You need to go to Vegas. You need to fucking Staples, Texas, whatever. Like, it's not gonna be no fucking Omaha.
And also, let me say this about Warren Buffett. Floyd Mayweather made Warren Buffett famous in the boxing game. Not famous, but just famous in the boxing, because he was the first person to have Warren Buffett to one of his fights when he Warren Buffett, Mark Cuban, and all those rich guys. Let me say this though, man, and this is how I feel about all this. Hey, man, screw those guys, man. They don't give us black folks nothing. Warren Buffett included, man. You know what I'm saying? They have benefited. Their businesses have benefited off the backs of black people that have worked for these companies and all this stuff, and they give nothing back. Who cares about if you friends with Warren Buffett? And I say this all the time, man. Us black folks should have nothing. We should have like I said before, we should have our own platforms, our own everything, man. We give the power to these people by acting like we need them for something.
And my thing is, if you're kicking it with Warren Buffett, how the hell are you hanging out with someone who, you know, has one of the largest holdings companies in the country and still don't know shit about how business works? My thing, like, I find this shit amazing because even the people even the people that propagate this nonsense, they're sitting there acting like people need to come on their knees to fight Bud. It's like, no, you got the shit confused. Even with the Charlo situation, motherfucker, I said that Charlo was the A side, and all these dummies that really think that they know something about business or boxing or the intersection of both were whining, saying I was wrong. And
you know what I hear too, Di? I hear a lot of people say, well, Errol Spence told Bud he should get a belt and this and this and that. And I'm like, dude, well, check this out. I've literally witnessed with my own two eyes, my two ears, motherfucking Terrence Crawford tell us that this old decrepit white man right next to me is the reason why I couldn't fight Spence.
That's what he said.
But they act like that shit don't even exist.
My thing is, if Bud was really the A side in boxing, and if Bud was really the A side in life, when Spence told you to get a belt, you wouldn't have done what he said. It's clear that Bud at the time really thought Spence was that guy because he followed his instructions. It's like, I told you to do something, and as opposed to going your own way and doing something else, you did exactly what I told you to do. So he's the A side, but he's not acting like one. He did what he was fucking told. Just like when Bob Arum tells him to do something, he does it. Just like whenever Bomac says do something, he does it. He does what he's fucking told. He doesn't make his own way. He contradicts himself in the public constantly. He doesn't understand how business works, and he's always looking for something. He claims, and people keep talking about Daniel Kinahan. Daniel Kinahan has not spent a fucking dime on Bud. If Bud
he got his own problems to worry about from what I've been seeing lately.
And if Bud was that guy, what would be happening was he would go to Kinahan with a bag, offer someone a contract instead of looking for them. When you're looking for contracts to be presented to you, like, people get it confused. He's not Canelo Alvarez. People can pass on a Bud fight, whereas Canelo Alvarez has so much success that it'd be a financial liability to pass on that. And I keep trying to explain. I just kept asking those people, what leverage does Bud have, especially at 154? If you want to say because he holds a belt at 147 and he's the key to undisputed, okay, yeah, that's whatever. But what the fuck leverage would he have at 154? He has none.
What if Errol Spence ended up passing up on the Bud fight and fighting Canelo Alvarez or some shit?
People gonna say he ducking.
Yeah.
A nigga on Twitter told me that Bud might fuck around to fight Eubank Jr., which is gonna sell out in the UK. I'm like, bro, Eubank Jr. has accomplished less in boxing than fucking McAboo.
He is. One thing about it,
That's true.
Not fighting. Crawford is not fighting no Eubank Jr.
If Bud were to go to the UK and fight some damn body, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear from y'all ever again. Because it's funny because
it's gonna be Josh Taylor if he do that.
It's just funny because people will say Spence is ducking off of decisions and talking points that Crawford is making. Like, I don't understand, how can Spence be ducking if Bud decided to go fight someone else?
That Crawford motherfucking Josh Taylor fight, that whatever that is, man, that value in that shit dropped so bad. That shit's over.
Oh, no doubt.
Extreme willpower. Nobody is slandering Bud, bro. Nobody is slandering Bud. If anything, we're slandering Bud, some of his fans who don't understand how things work.
Facts. And all because here's the thing. Somebody just said I was a fake Bud fan. I like Bud, but I ain't no fucking fool. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh my God, it's all Errol Spence's fault." And Errol Spence is scared. That don't
Yeah,
make any sense to me.
yeah, and that's another thing. Extreme willpower. I'm not hating on Bud right here, but I got to bring this up. In any other division in boxing, because of what Spence has done, he would be the greatest welterweight. But Spence doesn't even get to be the greatest welterweight going into a 3-belt unification. This shit is crazy to me. This shit is crazy to me. Like,
Hey, and look, and this is the thing. Unless a person was talking the same talk I was 10 years ago when I was saying that Bob Arum was holding Bud Crawford back when Bud Crawford was just Bud from Omaha, a fighter that's got potential that Bob Arum keep putting on the back end of these fights, putting them on the off TV fights and things like that. Like if you wasn't saying that, then how true of a Bud fan are you? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You wasn't out there hollering with me. You know
the
what I mean?
same people that will say that Bud is the top middleweight will look at us crazy. I mean, no, the same people that say Bud is the top welterweight will look at us crazy when we say Charlo is the top middleweight. And then when we say why, it's like, well, with Triple G, he has the better resume and he's going for unification. Nigga. It's just like that's the shit I'll be talking about, bro. That's the shit I'll be talking about. PBC 100 million plus for Canelo, but no money for Bud. Well, they have to first have the Spence. Well, first of all, Showtime got a fucking whole schedule lined up here, so they got to have the Spence Ugas situation, and also Bud has to come to the table. Bud hasn't even presented his fucking demands yet. Yeah, I know that Tim Smith said that dumb shit talking out of his ass, which is cool. He can sit the fuck down somewhere and be quiet. But Bud has to actually come to the table and present demands to be met. Bud hasn't even said what he wants. He hasn't even gone to the office. I mean, of course, emails could have been exchanged, and I hope they have been. But it's just he's expecting a fight to materialize out of nowhere where he plays no part. It's like, bro, no one has time to be sending Bud a bunch of different contracts so he can edit them and send them back with his demands like he's Queen fucking Elizabeth. He's not that guy.
But here's the thing, though, D-Hive. These things happen already. Like, I hear, a lot of people talking, but one thing that Al Heyman do, man, is that Al Heyman get deals done and situations happen in the dark. You know what I'm saying? He do things when nobody's watching, when everybody talking. Al Heyman is doing his thing. I mean, that's always done in business. And times
how it's supposed to be.
They don't like for us to praise our own, but I'm gonna give the flowers to the brother. This guy is one of the greatest businessmen in entertainment in our lifetime. Putting together, I mean, the deals that he put together for Michael Jackson and Pepsi and all these things before y'all two were even born, man. That's legendary stuff. The thing that him and Don King did, the billions of dollars they made for Pepsi and for themselves in the 80s. Like, come on, man. That guy is a legendary guy. If Bud Crawford came to him instead of to Tony Montana over there in Ireland, I mean, I feel that Bud not only could make more money doing it that way, but also he would be with his people. So anybody in the chat or anywhere that want to debate that, let's debate it. Tell me a better businessman that Al Heyman putting things together in entertainment. I'll wait.
And also, I'll say Extreme Willpower says, nah, Bud has been in negotiations when he was. Bud has said he's been in negotiations when he was talking to Radio Raheem. That's another thing. So you're talking about how you struggle promotionally. And when you're making public appearances and speaking publicly, one of the sources you go to is Radio Raheem,
a TV interviewer.
Like, and the thing is, it's not even like a quality one that's credible. It's fucking Radio Raheem. We all know what he's known for.
Raheem.
Yeah, that dude's garbage. He fucking Bud might as well go on the damn Steve Kim podcast, bro. It's this shit I'll be talking about.
Radio a little better than that, because I ain't giving Steve Kim and A later no love. They should get no interviews in boxing. That just
Yeah.
showed you how naive and coonery that some of these fighters and people are in boxing.
Jamel Herring was just on there.
I'm gonna repeat what I said. It shows how naive and coonery some of these guys are.
Oh shit.
That you would go on the show where to a Mexican and an Asian American talk crap about black folks, are racist, laugh about the struggles black folks have, getting killed, laughing at the notion of another race soldier saying that these black folks brought their murders and deaths on themselves, and you go and support them, you go and put money in their pocket, you're a coon. And I don't care if you're a great guy, but what you did was coonery.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean,
And I
it is.
stand behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, it's when you're a public figure, who you associate with publicly matters because you give validation to the platform.
Right.
Your presence validates the platform. That ultimately means that you're okay enough with their message and the information that they put out that you would go speak there. I mean, because you don't need any more publicity. You just fought Shakur Stevenson and got your ass. Well, people know who the fuck you is, man. Like people know who you are, bro. But whatever.
Man, that's true. He should have came on the Art Man show.
Yeah. All you guys that like talk about, oh, if you say my name, put my name. I heard my name was mentioned. Go get some people that fucking matter, bro. Stop inboxing these turds on Twitter who are fucking worthless. Go get the people that matter. Go get the big people. If you say my name, got my name in your mouth, shut the fuck up.
And also, I said what I said about James Prince. I said that coon stuff. That's a coon.
Oh, you talking about the whole
yeah, with
Joe
the whole
Rogan
Joe Rogan thing. Yeah, if a guy, Art Man, asks you to come on his show, and this guy has a compilation of calling people the ends, and I don't understand this ER and the hard ER and the A. They all the same to me.
I had to check one on Twitter. Did you see?
One of them. Huh?
I had to check one of them dudes on Twitter. Did you see that shit? Yeah. But you can't. Okay, so.
You talking about when you played the guy off of First 48? Yeah, I saw that. That was funny, man.
Because the whole reason why I was talking to him because he said I'm a real nigga about himself, and he typed it up on Twitter, and I was like, what the heck? I said, excuse me, and then he's like, he gave me a pass so I can say it, blah blah blah, and I was like, bro, what the hell? Hell no, nah. These dudes are weird, man. Hell no, nah.
Bro. I give no passes.
Yeah, that's what I said. I ain't giving you no damn pass. Fuck that bullshit.
I don't
care.
The
British boxing boys are getting way too bold. Facts.
Yeah, that's super facts. And look, I don't care if somebody say, well, look, man, I grew up around the guy since he was in his Pampers, this and that. I'm like, nope, no passes. No passes. Cannot pass me. Period. And they say that James Prince is a gangster. He probably is. But be gangsters with them white guys, too. Like I said to y'all earlier, when these white guys and entertainers and musicians and comedians, when they come to Houston, make them check in. And when they check in, then we should start checking in.
So I blame Eminem for that shit.
Well, make Eminem check in.
Nah, but shit. I gotta get up out here. I gotta go get me some breakfast or whatever. But
all right, bro.
We gonna fuck around and do a show tonight. There ain't no boxing on tonight, is there?
Nope.
Hell nah. Fuck it. We'll see what pops up.
All right, Dion.
All right, for sure. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for having me up.